Recording. Yes, sir, we are.
How's it going this week, y'all? Episode 45. Spinny, you got an athlete for me? What is this episode called?
Man, I came up short on that one.
I can't think of any off the top of my head either.
45s?
Honestly, off the top of my head, I can't think of a single one. Do a little quick Google search.
Dick Grayson?
Whoever that is.
Oh, come on. 4-time All-Pro, 48 interceptions.
Yeah, because I watched the NFL in the 60s, yeah.
Well, geez.
All right, we'll rock with him for this episode. Who is it again?
What?
Who is it?
Oh, I know. Pedro.
Oh, okay.
The Pedro Martinez episode.
We'll rock the Pedro Martinez episode. That one is much better. Much better.
We could do the Michael Jordan when somebody stole his jersey episode.
We could.
There you go.
I don't want to give that man any props though.
Why not? Because you're bitter or what? Because you're bitter?
I'm just a hater. I'm a hater.
You're bitter that they're doing an all Michael Jordan day like 2 days after LeBron breaks his scoring record on ESPN.
Yeah,
you're bitter about that?
Just classic stuff. Like just like last year when they had to drop the documentary at the same time LeBron was doing things. Like
of course.
It's just how that works. It's funny.
MJ ain't stupid. Come on.
To start this episode though, Spinny, the Pedro Martinez episode, I have a couple headlines for you. Some that we didn't even go over. So these are gonna be new to you. You may have heard of these. I'm not sure.
Oh, I just might have heard of them only once or what?
Given that you're a women's volleyball coach at the collegiate level, I kind of want to hear your opinion on this Duke basketball matter. Have you heard this about how Kara Lawson was ripping the fact that they used a men's ball for the first half of their game?
Yeah, which
she said, yeah. So they played the first half, didn't like change the ball until halftime. This would never happen in a men's game. She says this would never happen. This just wouldn't happen. It's embarrassing for our sport. So what do you think about this whole situation?
Okay. I mean, obviously women's sports get disrespected. I don't have to like, that's obvious. I don't need to go into that too much. But what I'm saying is that did no one notice it or say anything the whole time? Or they're saying they did say something and the refs were like, nah, we're going to wait till halftime.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
because that's a different, like, that's BS if that happened. Like, that is unbelievable. The ref should be fired for that at that point. Like, holy cow. But, like, also, I mean, if you're that good of an athlete, you can't tell me you don't notice the difference in ball size. Like, I can notice the difference in ball size, and I'm not a D1 athlete. So
everything that I've seen says that they didn't like even bring it up during the game until halftime.
Why?
So to me, that's on them. Like, yes.
If that's true, then I agree.
It's BS that you played with the men's ball. I agree with that.
Well,
but like you just said, basketball players know the difference. You can hold a men's ball and women's ball, and you can tell the difference. Why wasn't a player instantly going to the refs throughout the game? And again, obviously, I never watched the game, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But all the reports make it seem like nothing was even brought up till halftime. The players brought it up to an assistant coach at halftime, and then that assistant coach told the refs when they came back out of the locker room, and that's how it got changed. And then Kara Lawson was like, essentially just pointing to how it wouldn't happen in men's games, and like even tried to protest the game. But it's like the other team played with the men's ball too, not just you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, how are you protesting the result of the game when the other women's team had to go through the same thing?
Yeah, I'm not going to go super anti her because at the end of the day, it was the refs mistake that we're talking about.
Yeah, they're supposed to check the ball. It is the refs mistake.
It's the refs mistake, but I am surprised on the whole not talking to the refs about it before halftime. Like, if that's true, then like I just don't see how it's not at least a little bit on the players at that point. Like, you gotta buck up and tell somebody, like, first dead ball, I would have said something.
Right. Like, the moment you touch the ball, you would know.
Yeah,
that's not the right ball. So I don't know. That's just kind of weird to me. Figured I would bring it up to you. The next one we have here, kind of just statewide news, but California is making flag football a high school sport for girls. What do you think about this? You good with this?
Yeah. I
I
mean,
love
why
it.
not? I guess.
Right.
I mean, I think they should make regular football a high school sport for girls at some point, but you'll probably get a lot more like interest in flag football at first, and then we'll see where the interest level goes from there. But yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's a good way to try to make a step towards getting another sport available for women. So that's always a good thing.
Right. And I feel like did your high school ever do like the powder puff games or whatever where the
Oh
girls would
yeah,
play? You
that
know,
stuff was hilarious.
it was hilarious. And the girls got so into it.
So
So
into it.
into it. I was like,
So
I
into
could
it.
when I saw that article about how California is making a high school sport, I was like, that's actually a great idea. I could see girls getting really into this.
Although the best part of like the powder puff situation was the absolute just smear tackling. So you won't get
Yeah,
that
that's
in the
true.
flag football, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool either way. Nice to expand opportunities for people.
Another headline we got here: the All-Star reserves were announced. A lot of people having issues, especially with the Western Conference. So let's just start there. Western Conference was Paul George, Shai Gilgeous, Jaren Jackson, Damian Lillard, Larry Markkinen, John Morant, and Domantas Sabonis. Okay. Spinny, any immediate issues for you? I guess the main ones for me would be PG and Jaren Jackson in the
Yeah, I
game.
mean those are the ones. Triple J only playing what 35 games. That's not the number you'd look at ideally, especially with guys like Ant and Darren Fox, who've played pretty much every single game. Ant literally has played every single game. So I get those. That's the snubs to me is Fox and Ant for Triple J and Paul George.
Paul George.
I guess you just look at like Ant's stats are all slightly better than PG's, and he's played all the games compared to not for PG. So I just don't
Exactly.
see that personally. And the the Kings are good enough to have two All-Stars. They're in the top 4 in the West. So I just and the season Fox is having and the step he took this year, like you gotta give him some credit for that. He's a
For
top
sure.
24 player in the league this year. Come on. Top 12 in the West.
But
Come on.
once again, disrespect for the small markets coming in
Yeah.
play as expected. Let me ask you this then. Curry's hurt, expected to miss the All-Star game, right? Who is going to be his replacement, De'Aaron Fox or Anthony Edwards?
Probably Darren Fox.
I'm
But
assuming De'Aaron Fox as well, but it's like
it
we're a
could be
six,
Ant. I'm just assuming the Wolves snubbery is gonna remain in
right?
effect as usual. So
I just don't get how a team that only has like 2 games better than us, maybe 3 record wise, gets 2 All-Stars, but we get 0. Like
yeah.
that just doesn't make any sense to me. But like you said, Minnesota hate. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Eastern Conference, though, we got Bam, Jalen Brown, DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday, and Julius Randle. So that would make some noticeable guys who didn't get in would be like Pascal Siakam, Trey Young, and Jalen Brunson would be the first 3 that come to mind. Do any of those 3? Should
What?
any of those
We
3
didn't even
be?
mention the biggest snub of all.
I don't know. I don't know who you're about to say. I don't agree if that they're bigger than those 3 though. Who?
The best non All-Star in the East. The only former MVP on the list we're talking about. Guy almost averaging 10 assists a game.
Oh yeah,
Come on,
I
James
guess.
Harden.
I guess James Harden. But that's another situation to me though that he's missed how many games? I'm putting those other 3 in over him. Trey Young is averaging 27 and 10 right
Yeah,
now,
Trey
leads the
Trey Young.
NBA.
Trey Young is fair. Trey Young, I'll give you.
And Jalen Brunson, the Knicks wouldn't be anything what they are without Jalen Brunson on the court. That man has completely taken over. He's averaging like 23, 6, and 4.
Then why didn't he make it over Julius?
I don't know. I'd rather see Brunson in there than Julius, honestly. But also like the
Harden
thought
has
process.
36 games played.
That's actually enough. That is enough.
21 and 10.9.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I saw Siakam was the only guy averaging 25, 7, and 5 plus in each category ever in NBA history to not be made an All-Star.
what?
Yeah. At the All-Star break to be averaging those numbers, only player in NBA history not to make the All-Star game. So that's crazy. Trae Young is like the only
quite
player.
At 25, but
Right, he's like 24 or something. Trae Young is like the only player in the top 15 in the NBA in scoring that's not in there. Like, yeah, those are some noticeable ones. Would you actually put any of those guys in over the guys that made it though? Like Drew Holiday, or are you taking any of those guys out for these
give me
snubs
the
we're
list
talking about?
again.
Or we got Bam, Jaylen Brown, DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday, Julius Randle.
I mean, Randall and DeMar come to mind right away, I guess, of guys.
Right.
I'd probably have Harden and Young in over those two guys. Again, Harden probably hasn't played enough games to where that part makes sense. I mean, DeRozan is 26, 5, and 5. So, I mean,
I also thought that even, Drew Holiday, like, I love him. He's done a great job, even on, like, especially on the defensive end. Like, there's stuff that Drew Holiday does that doesn't show up in statistics. But I thought even Drew Holiday, I thought they could have avoided a second Bucks player and could have thrown Harden in for Holiday or something along those lines as well.
Yeah, and I mean 51% from the field for DeMar on 26, 5, and 5.
So
that's pretty, respectable. And that's
he's
with
doing
shooting only 33% from three. He's still shooting 51%.
Yeah.
That means he's
averaging
shooting like 60% from two. So
yeah, dude is a mid-range god, as we know. Yeah, that's probably enough talk about the reserves. Let's move on to the last headline, which is also an NBA one, and that is Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving got traded yesterday to the Dallas Mavericks for Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, a first-round pick, and 2 seconds, I believe, right? And it was Kyrie and Markieff in return. Markieff Morris, that is. Spinny, is this a good move for both teams, one team, neither teams? What do you think?
So we saw the offer, right? CP3, Jay Crowder, and a first.
I was just going to say, I was going to shout these other ones. So that was that one.
Do it.
You said the Suns won. The Clippers offered Luke Kennard, Terrence Mann, a future first-round pick, and 2 first-round pick swaps. And the Lakers offered Russell Westbrook and both their 2027 and 2029 first-round picks as well. So those are some pretty good offers they also got, but they decided to go with DFS, Dinwiddie, and a first-round pick, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. I think, Dinwiddie's probably the best player of all those guys, wouldn't you say? Right now.
Yeah, right now, yeah, I would say, but
so
he probably is.
So that part makes sense. I think it's hilarious, Joe Tsai being like, "We're not freaking trading you to the Lakers." Like I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I would take. He basically was like, "I would take a lesser offer to not trade you to the Lakers." I just think the pettiness is absolutely fantastic, honestly, and I get it, given all the BS that Kyrie has inflicted on that organization.
Yeah.
It actually makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And this is what the Nets offer was to the Lakers. This is how much the Lakers would have had to give up. And it would have been, on top of Westbrook and those 2 first-round picks, it would have been more pick swaps as well as Austin Reeves and Max Christie. So essentially, they're only 2 young shooters and more picks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, an absolute haul. Obviously, Lakers aren't going to do that. So, I love that pettiness, too. I wouldn't send Kyrie where he wants to either after everything he's done.
No, yeah. It's funny, too. I think he could have got maybe a big long-term contract from a team like the Lakers in the offseason had he just shut up and played out his season and finished. If he had finished the season about where he is, even a little bit less, and he had played and said nothing, he could have got a 4-year, $150 million deal in the offseason. More likely than he is now, I think.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Another reason I saw the Lakers were hesitant because they only wanted to give him a 2-year deal because LeBron only has 2 years left. So they didn't want to give him the 4-year deal. So that's why they didn't pull the trigger on that. Because, like, at the end of the day, if you're going to get Kyrie, who cares about Max Christie and
especially like
whatever?
Those guys will be hard to replace this year, but like
Right.
next year and going forward, getting
Yeah.
good shooter free agents to come to the Lakers for the vet min is not going to be hard to do with LeBron, Kyrie, and AD.
Yeah.
If you have those
sure.
three guys, you're going to get all those vet min shooters.
Yeah, definitely. Well, before we move on to our next segment, who do you think won this trade? Are you saying it's a win for both teams?
It is the rare win-win, I believe. Yeah, honestly.
I agree. We'll see what happens the rest of the season. You know, if it actually makes the Mavs a legit contender, if the Nets can still contend and compete in the East.
I think
we'll
Nets
see.
went like as many above average role players and KD as we can. So I think they'll be decent, like especially in the regular season until KD comes back. And then
as long as KD stays healthy.
And I think they can beat any team other than Boston and Milwaukee. Like even Philly, like I don't know, Philly loves choking in the playoffs, and I can just see KD making that happen.
Yeah, I can see that. I could see that happening as well. Well, now we're going to talk about Super Bowl 57, obviously coming up Sunday, 5:30 p.m. We got the 14-3 Chiefs playing the 14-3 Eagles. It's going to be an amazing game. Two different styles of football. We got, passing down the field Chiefs and more of a pound it down your throat running team in the Eagles. So it's going to be interesting to see which style prevails. The Eagles are a 1.5 point favorite spread wise. And so I guess, Spinny, I'll just ask you right away. Who do you got in this game?
What was the spread again?
1.5.
1.5. This is a toss-up game for me. And
Such a toss-up.
We're just going to do the classic tiebreaker that I always do, and that's sticking with my pick. So we're going to take Kansas City. I think it's going to be 29-24. Yeah, I think it'll be a close one. I think Mahomes, there's just faith in Mahomes, honestly, is what we're talking about. And Philly's D not being quite as good against an amazing quarterback as we think it is.
I like that 5-point spread. I'm actually going to do the same thing. I'm going 32-27 for the Chiefs. Pretty much the same reasoning as you. This is a straight toss-up game. I'm struggling to decide who to pick, but my preseason or pre-playoff pick, I should say, was the Chiefs. And so I got to just stick with the Chiefs. Mahomes about to get his second ring. And ultimately, at the end of the day, in these Super Bowls and big games like this, I'm usually favor the team with the better quarterback, which is obviously the Chiefs. So that's at the end of the day, I'm going to pick the team that has the quarterback that will take. And that's Mahomes. I mean, we've seen him do it in 20 seconds. So,
yeah. Also, I mean, the Eagles' O-line is going to have a huge impact because, like, Chiefs would have struggled against the Bengals if it wasn't for Chris Jones and others just wreaking havoc, and that's obviously not going to happen. So if Jalen Hurts has as much time as he usually does, it could be a different ball game as well.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Well, Spinny, before we move on to our next segment, I'm going to throw out a bunch of prop bets because obviously the Super Bowl is just known for all these crazy and fun prop bets you can bet on. So obviously, very popular one, national anthem length. Anywhere from 2 minutes to 2:05, depending on your site. The website we're using, 2:05 is what it's set at. 2 minutes and 5 seconds, over or under.
Do we have a singer?
Chris Stapleton, country music star.
Oh, over. 100% over. 100p over.
Yeah, odds are minus 145 over, plus 110 for under. I'm going over as well. No shot.
Like the drawl
yeah,
Chris Stapleton voice. Like, there's no way. But the one thing is, like, he might not lengthen out the as much as some. You know what I mean? So that could subtract a little bit, but I still am going over.
Also, national anthem one. Who will be shown first on TV? Pat Mahomes or Jalen Hurts? Which QB? Mahomes is minus 135. Hurts is plus 105. I feel like this answer is based on the script, like all those memes about how the NFL is scripted.
Arian Foster's such a trip. Such a trip, man.
Those memes though are literally the funniest thing ever. I absolutely love the NFL script memes on Twitter. They get me rolling.
Especially all the like. I can't wait until the stars start. Some of the stars have been tweeting it, but like I can't wait till like I don't know. Like on the anniversary, Tom Brady's tweeting a meme about this was a lit script, wasn't it? 23 picture. I just can't wait for some shit like that. But they are hilarious.
So yeah, that's what I was saying. It's gonna be whatever the script is this year. Whichever team's winning, that's who they're showing. If they have the Eagles winning, they're showing Jalen Hurts first.
Well, then I'm picking Mahomes, I guess.
I'm picking Mahomes too.
We're going Mahomes. Yeah,
we're going Mahomes. What about skill position? They also got one for essentially their best skill players, Travis Kelce or AJ Brown. We got -185 for Kelce, +140 AJ Brown.
I wonder what odds are on Devontae Smith. That's what I want. I want my Devontae Smith comes up first. Odds.
Yeah, I don't know. You would imagine it's worse than AJ Brown.
I'll take Brown.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta go Kelce. He's such a TV guy. Like
they're probably gonna go Mahomes, Brown, Kelce, Hurts.
I could see that. I could totally see that. How about the classic coin toss? We got heads or tails. Heads is -105. They're both -105, obviously. Same odds.
And anyone who picks heads in this situation sucks. So
here we go. Tails. I got to. Okay, you can go tails. That's fine. But I'm going to give you recent Super Bowls. The last two have been heads. 2020 was tails. The two before that, 2019 and 2018, both heads. But the four before that, 2014 to 2017, all tails. So lately it's been heads.
Heads, tails, heads, tails.
Heads, tails, heads, tails, tails. Those are the last 8 or 9 Super Bowls.
No, but I'm saying going into this year, head, tails, head, tails this year.
Pattern repeats?
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
The script repeats.
I always pick tails no matter what on this.
Tails never fails, baby.
Tails never fails. Exactly.
Yeah, always.
Who's winning the coin toss? Chiefs or Eagles?
Eagles.
Okay.
Chiefs picking wrong.
I'm going Chiefs and deferring.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay. This one's interesting here, Spinny. Color of Rihanna's first outfit, Super Bowl halftime show. We got the best odd is black, +115. Gold, +525. Silver or gray, +600. White, +600. Green, +650. Those are the best 5 color odds. If you want any other colors, I can shout out the odds. There's more listed here, but
can I get?
I'm going black. I'm going black. I'm going with the favorite.
Silver or green. I want silver. We'll take silver. Take +600. Okay. I like those odds.
Okay. Because like the only reason why I say black is because like in her show she's known for wearing like something black or white, pretty much just like plain colors.
So then I think black. White.
You should pick white. One of us will be right then.
All right, I'll pick white.
Okay, another halftime show. Which song is she gonna sing first? Diamonds, +150. Don't Stop the Music, +250. Lift Me Up, +550. What's My Name, +600. Umbrellas, +800. Man, this one's tough.
Umbrellas. Give me those odds.
I like Umbrella too. +800. That seems so low for that. I feel like it's got to be that song. Who knows? She's got so many good songs. How many times? Ooh, this is a good one, especially with him retiring. How many times will Tom Brady be mentioned during the Super Bowl? Over 1.5 or under 1.5? Odds are -165 for over, +125 for under. There's no way they don't mention him at least 2 times. I'm going over.
Smash over.
Yeah.
This is one you parlay because that's happening at least twice.
Literally. Okay, what about? That's what I'm saying. Like, what? Commercials. Doritos or Pringles? Who gets the first TV commercial?
Doritos.
-260s Doritos. Yeah, it's going to be Doritos. They're always one of the first. Always one of the first ones.
Pringles is what odds?
Pringles is +190.
Ooh.
Compared to
I might take Pringles actually.
What about for beer? We got Heineken versus Budweiser. Heineken +110. Budweiser -145.
I'll take the. No, I'm gonna take the sure bet on this one. I'm gonna take Bud.
Yeah, I'm going Bud too. I just feel like those most popular brands are always like right away. Like they pay the money to get it done. You know what I mean?
True.
Okay, well, we'll finish with these Andy Reid specials. I don't know if these are ones you can actually bet on, but they're listed with odds, so I'm gonna read them off here. They're pretty hilarious. Andy Reid special. Will Andy Reid wear a Hawaiian shirt during the Super Bowl?
At any
Yes.
point.
Yeah, I'm assuming it means during the game. I don't know. Plus 1,600 for yes, minus 15,000 for no.
Come on, it's no.
It's no. That's fine. It's just the Andy Reid special. What about will he eat a cheeseburger before the end of the Super Bowl broadcast?
I kind of want those odds a little bit.
No is minus 1,900. Yes is plus 750.
All right. I like the plus. I'll take the plus 750. I like that actually.
This one's a little easier. He doesn't have to eat it. He has to just say the word burger. Will the words burger or cheeseburger be said by Andy Reid during the post-game interview? Minus 240 for no, plus 175 for yes. I'm going
That's
yes.
the smash. That's the plus.
I'm going yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially if they win, he's definitely going to say something like, yeah, I'm about to go get a cheeseburger or something.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, that's
That is
hilarious.
hilarious. I love prop bets for the Super Bowl. It's like a tradition.
Yeah. I was going to say, Hardies and Hardos, if you want to see more, just literally Google Super Bowl prop bets. There's so many out there. So many. We could have literally sat here for the rest of the episode and talked about them, honestly. There's that many.
Literally.
So we're both going Chiefs, sticking with our picks. I like it. All right, let's transition to the next segment, which we're just going to kind of throw out some predictions for the NBA trade deadline, which is this Thursday. I want to say at 3 p.m., 4 p.m. It's somewhere in the afternoon. But yeah, it's on Thursday. And obviously the Kyrie trade already happened. So things are picking up and heating up quick. So Spinny, give me
all
one.
Bus's trades are going to be wrong as hell. Just letting
Probably.
everybody know. Because
Most
Bus
likely.
is the worst trade predictor in the history of the world. Nothing?
You think so, huh?
I got a face,
man. Yeah, because I'm just speechless at that. I don't know what you're really basing. I don't know what you're basing that off of, but I guess
I'm basing that off of I was trying to make you get a little feisty.
Yeah, you're being a troll.
No, I wasn't.
Classic. Give me one of your predictions then, because I know it's going to be terrible.
All Raptors stay in Toronto.
No.
That's the hot take. All Raptors stay in Toronto.
So the Raptors are buyers, you think, or you're just saying there's no way they stay put. So you're saying they're buyers then? No.
Maybe.
Teams like that don't never stay put. They do something.
We'll see. I'm a little skeptical of Masai this year. I think he might be trolling everybody, and we might get a stay put. I know it's a hot take. I mean, they don't call it a hot take because it's likely, but I think I don't know.
That's fair.
Vibes I'm getting out of Toronto.
I don't see that happening. One of my predictions is 2 of their 4 guys that are rumored are gone. No matter who it is, there's at least 2 of them traded, and that's Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr., or Pascal Siakam. I think Siakam is the most likely to stay, but 2 of those 4 are getting traded.
So you want over under 1.5 bet?
I'm taking over then.
So I want to make a bet with you though right now.
I will go over on 1.5.
And so yeah,
I need at least 2 Raptors getting traded. You go under. Yep.
What do we? I want to bet something. You got to do something stupid on broadcast though. It's got to be.
What's something we could do?
Like you got to wear a Duke sweatshirt on the broadcast. The whole broadcast.
I think it's got to be something worse. I feel like I can think of things I hate more than that.
That's fair.
Maybe
you have to let one of your roommates dump water on your head during the broadcast.
Okay, so then your fiance has to do it then too.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing? Okay.
Yep.
I'm game.
Let's go.
That sounds fun. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's definitely do
Mariah's going to be excited about this one, except I'm not going to lose. So
no, yeah, I was going to say she's going to be excited because you're
going to be disappointed. You're right.
In the water.
Oh, disappointment in the... household.
Okay, other than the Raptors, then what do you got then?
Oh, other than the Raptors, Celtics make the Pirtle move. I think it's going to happen.
Pirtle?
Jakob is going to be in green, hopefully before Thursday.
Yeah, I had a very similar prediction. I just made it more general, saying Celtics are trading for a big, whether it's Pirtle, Plumlee, Naz Reid. I hope we don't get rid of Naz Reid, but he's obviously rumored to be available.
I don't either, but like if he's got to be traded, it'd be fun to see him traded there. I kind of want more of a defensive center though. That's the only thing that I like Jakob for is I feel like on the defensive end he's still least respectable.
That's a good point.
Naz getting bullied.
One of my other predictions is the Nets aren't done. They're not done at all. A lot of people are thinking they're just going to rock this lineup now. There's no shot. They're either immediately trading one or both of these players and Dorian Finney-Smith, Spencer Dinwiddie, plus future picks to acquire a Fred VanVleet, a Zach LaVine, a DeMar DeRozan. We don't know if Bulls are buyers or sellers. They're a team. They're kind of like the Raptors. They're a tweener. We don't know.
Yep.
But both those players are rumored to be available if they're sellers. So I think they're either going to land a second star in like one of those type of players, or they're just going to continue to add more win now vets. Like you said, they're trying to surround KD with a lot of very good vets. So maybe they keep Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith, and they trade some of these future first for another one, who's a vet that's available, like a Jay Crowder or a Bogdanovich, like these guys that are probably like pretty damn likely they're going to get traded. Just key vets that'll help them win. So I think the Nets aren't even close to done yet.
That's fair. I think Jay Crowder is going to be a Milwaukee Buck. I think they get that done. It just fits.
I like
those
odds too.
Their style. I just think that's going to get done. And some team's going to pay on the low for Cam Reddish for his upside. Somebody like, like even like the Lakers, like a Lakers Rui style. Like maybe it's the Clippers. Maybe it's Milwaukee if they don't get Crowder. Maybe it's Sacramento. Maybe it's somebody takes maybe it's the Heat. Somebody takes a little stab at Cam Reddish, I think.
I like that one, and that flows into one of my other predictions. And being the Lakers are going to make a move, whether it is something like Cam Reddish, but it's going to be an underwhelming move. They're going to still refuse to move these 27 and 29 first round picks that they have.
You don't think Field's happening? Or LaVine.
Like, I don't think like a Buddy Hield's happening. There was even a rumor that Fred VanVleet would be involved in a trade to the Lakers for those picks and Russell Westbrook or whatever. I don't think they're going to make a splash move. They should, obviously. I just, knowing Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss, they're going to make an underwhelming move and just go get like a Cam Reddish or whatever. And speaking of Cam Reddish, before you give out your next one, I'll just shout out, guys. Most likely players to be moved. DraftKings odds here. Cam Reddish and Jay Crowder, both minus 500. Top ones there. Jakob Poeltl minus 350. OG Anunoby minus 320. Russell Westbrook minus 320. Plumlee and VanVleet minus 280. They even have KD on here. KD minus 250. Gary Trent minus 250.
KD to the Suns is interesting, like an Ayton and Bridges package. I don't know. I mean, KD getting traded is obviously interesting.
Right. Do you think that's like, so my prediction with the Nets was that they're keeping KD.
They're not trading KD. They're not trading KD. They've said, like, we didn't go through all this crap this summer and then being like, nah, we're not trading him, to turn around and them trade him. Like, it just doesn't. I
could maybe see them doing it this off season, but just right now, there's no shot, I feel like.
Especially injury, situation as well.
Do you have any other predictions for the trade deadline? My last one is just some long rumored players. These guys have been available essentially since day one of the season, if not from the offseason. That's Bojan Bogdanovich. He's getting traded off the Pistons, no doubt about it. Jay Crowder, he's getting moved. I liked your take of going to the Bucks. That was a very rumored one that I've seen all over on the internet. Eric Gordon off the Rockets. He's finally getting moved to some team that needs shooting. And John Collins. I think John Collins is finally going to get moved.
John Collins has been available for like a year and a half.
Forever.
Like, since the day he signed that contract, it seems like he was available.
Yeah. So I think they finally get rid of him. I know I've seen that the Jazz are interested. So maybe they they get Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley for him or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
I saw that as a rumor. So I think John Collins is finally going to be on the move as well. But that's all we got for the NBA trade deadline. It's going to be interesting. It's one of the best times of the year, that's for sure. The NBA is always, always crazy at the trade deadline. So we'll see what happens. We're going to close out with our mock draft part 2. Like we told you last week, we're dropping this in 3 parts, 11 picks. We'll do what? What are we doing? 10 today, right? 10 today, and then 10 next week, post Super Bowl. Reason why we're only doing 10 today is because pick 21, who was going to the Dolphins, is forfeited, obviously, with that whole fiasco this past offseason. Yeah. So there's actually only 31 picks in the first round now. So, Spinny, let's just start it off. Texans got another pick here at 12. 2 top 15 picks. That's huge for them. They need literally everything. So I can see them going so many different routes here. I have them picking a quarterback. I have them addressing one of their many defensive needs, and that's edge rusher, filling that with Luka Van Ness out of Iowa. So that's why I got the Texans taking at 12.
I have the same pick. I think this might be a little high, but I think given D'Amico Ryans, they're probably going to go defense, even though there's an offensive lineman or 2 available here who probably are better. I went Van Ness as well. Obviously, he 7 sacks 2 years ago, 6 sacks this year. He never really started for Iowa, so that's obviously a little bit of like a what the heck, but decent production despite that. Obviously, it's more like the length and power thing you see with him. But I think there's upside here, but it might be a tad bit of a reach.
Yeah, I've seen him falling as far as to the end of the first round even. So we'll see where he ends up going. This is a guy he's all over on mock drafts, anywhere from this pick all the way to 30, 31. So it's going to be interesting to see where Luka goes. Jets, they're coming in here at pick 13. To me, I got them going tackle here. Mekhi Becton clearly has not worked out for them whatsoever. I think they need to address this once again and pick a tackle here. I got them picking Broderick Jones, from out of Ohio State, which would be the best available lineman remaining, considering I had guys like Paris Johnson and Peter Skoronski going in my first part 1 mock draft last week.
Yeah, I mean, I have the Jets nailing the draft here again with this pick and taking Paris Johnson. Definitely best player available at this point, upside-wise, Ohio State tackle. So I think tackle's the spot for them. They're trying to get a veteran quarterback. When you are getting a veteran quarterback, protection, obviously one of the biggest things. So tackle here for the Jets, and another hit for the Jets.
Facts, major facts. Patriots, 14. Spinny, this has been your squad for quite some time. It's going to be interesting. Are you still rooting for them now that Tom Brady's gone and they're for sure? I mean, Belichick's on the team. You still like them, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're still my second team. You know, that's never going to change. Just, whatever happens.
Are they going to be classic Patriots and pick a defensive player here, even though they're probably their biggest need is a wide receiver, a playmaker?
Belichick realizes the error of his ways. He's finally jumping out of it, taking the highest taken receiver in the history.
Let's go. I hope you're right.
Quentin Johnson, wide receiver,
no
TCU,
way.
is going here.
This would be the highest receiver.
N'Keal Harry was the highest receiver when he was taken, and I think that was early 20s. So, yeah.
Man. Yeah, I was juggling back and forth. I originally had them picking a receiver here. So I was like, this is what they need to do. But I don't see it. I'm going cornerback Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State. There's rumors that Devin McCourty might retire. So that would obviously be a hole they need to fill. So I got them sticking to their plan and drafting
defense. Sticking
to
the mold?
Yeah. Sticking to the mold, yep.
All right. I can respect that. But, yeah, N'Keal Harry was number 32, wasn't he?
Last pick of the first round is the highest they've ever drafted a receiver. Are you kidding me?
I'm looking through all the picks right now just to confirm, but yeah, I believe so.
That's crazy, actually. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's go to pick 15 then.
Yes,
to
sir.
the Packers. This one pains me to say. I got them taking Michael Mayer, stud tight end out of Notre Dame. This dude is a freak. He is extremely good. He's a very good blocker as well. He kind of essentially, to me at least, profiles as like the next George Kittle potentially. He's that good of an athlete down the field and that good of a blocker, just like George Kittle is. And they're both 6'4" and both 250. So similar measurements there as well. So Packers obviously need weapons. Lazard's a free agent. They could go for a receiver here as well, but they haven't had a good tight end and essentially ever. And that middle of the field aspect of tight ends would definitely help them, considering, especially since the rumors that Rodgers isn't back there next year. So if they're rocking Jordan Love, they need a safety target going across the middle of the field, and Michael Mayer would fill in that spot perfectly.
Yeah, I think the Packers are going more classic Packers and sticking on the defensive end. Going with, again, a guy who, in the Packers' opinion, I think is going to be best player available. It's kind of debated between this guy and Brian Barisi from Clemson, but I have the Packers taking College J. Cansey, the D tackle from Pitt.
Okay. I like that.
Obviously, he is more of a pass rusher, 6'2", 280. So obviously, Pitt, short pass rushing base. We're going to get a lot of Aaron Donald comparisons, but obviously he's, that's huge shoes to fill. But he did have 14 sacks in the past 2 seasons from the interior defensive line. So that's pretty good in college football from a interior defensive line perspective. So definitely pass rushing upside. And just a classic type of player the Packers would pick that where I'm going to have to hate to watch sack Kirk Cousins.
More guys sacking Kirk Cousins. Come on. We already had Will Anderson roaming around the NFC North from our part 1.
Aiden Hutchinson is going to be roaming around.
Yeah, I was going to say, we had Miles Murphy. Both of us had Miles Murphy going to the Lions, teaming up with Aiden Hutchinson. And now you have them picking another pass rushing D tackle, the Packers.
Yeah.
Man, this might be rough for Kirk Cousins next year. That boy better be getting out of the pocket. That's for
Facts.
sure. Or we better be improving our line. One of the two. Commanders, they got 16th pick. I got them going DB here. Brian Branch out of Alabama. This guy can play corner or safety, so a little versatility there. They just don't have anybody. Their secondary was atrocious last year, and it doesn't help that in their division is some of the best receivers in football, aka CeeDee Lamb and AJ Brown. So they need guys to guard receivers even within their own division. So I got them addressing that need and going Brian Branch.
Definitely. I think the Commanders have one of the biggest quarterback needs, obviously, in the league right now.
I agree.
And again, like I previously said, how do you attract veteran quarterbacks to your organization? And that is pass blocking. Where they have McLaurin, they have an attractive receiver set, but pass blocking has been an issue for them. So I have them going with Broderick Jones, the offensive tackle from Georgia here, to try to hopefully entice one of those quarterbacks.
Georgia, yes. What was it? Pick 13. I said Ohio State. So don't listen to me when I'm talking about Broderick Jones. He's from Georgia, not Ohio State. Thank you, Spinny, for saying that.
You're welcome. And then, let's move on to pick 17 here. Steelers, couple of needs, corner and tackle. There's a ton of corner and tackle needs throughout the NFL, and you'll see that as this draft goes on. For my Steelers,
as expected, though, right? Like, feel like that's always a need for teams. I feel like line and DBs. So who do you got?
I couldn't help myself with the Steelers here. The story, I don't know if this will actually happen, but the storyline was too flipping good not to do it. So I have Joey Porter Jr. going here to the Steelers, same team that his dad famously played for. So cool, cool connection here for Pittsburgh.
That is good. I like that. I got them addressing their defensive line need with Brian Barisi out of Clemson. They have multiple free agents on the defensive line, and Cam Hayward is not a free agent, but he's obviously old. He's in going to be entering his 13th year next year, maybe even 14th. So that's just obviously another need they need to fill, and keeping that Steelers front ferocious as it basically always has been.
Agreed. Next is another division team for our Minnesota Vikings, and then it's the Detroit Lions. We
Second
had
pick.
them earlier in the draft taking Miles Murphy, another guy that's going to be terrorizing Kirk, and now a guy that's hopefully not going to be intercepting Kirk, and that is Christian Gonzalez, corner from Oregon. We saw some flashes from Jeff Okudah last year that he might have some potential still in him, but it was obviously inconsistent. And I think the Lions' biggest need is going to be on defensive anywhere. They addressed pass rush earlier, now going to corner. I'm just going to try to build that defense up. So that's what I have the Lions doing here.
Completely agree. I have he's already off the board for me, Gonzalez. So I got them going Cam Smith out of South Carolina. They need to address another defensive need here, I feel like. So whether they go secondary earlier in the draft and edge rusher here or vice versa, I think that's the play they need to do.
I like it. Next pick here, the Tampa Bay Bucks. Obviously, quarterback, huge need with the GOAT retiring right now. Kyle Trask is the only quarterback on the roster. Gator pride there. Corner and safety, Murphy Bunting and the name Jamel Dean are free agents, so no guarantee on those guys coming back, as well as Levante David and Akeem Hicks and Julio. So a ton of free agents, ton of like what the heck's going to go on with the Bucks here. So I have them going with a corner with the loss of those two guys, and I have Emmanuel Forbes here, the corner from Mississippi State.
That would make sense. I didn't really find any corners I liked, so I went a different route for them. Like you mentioned, Levante David is a free agent. He's 33 years old, so who knows if they're going to be bringing him back, like you said, after Tom Brady retired. Who knows what the hell the Bucks are doing? Are they going to be trying to compete? Are they tanking now? Who knows? So I don't know if they're even bringing Levante back. I'm going to go, in my opinion, the best linebacker in this draft, 6'5", 233 out of Arkansas, and that's Drew Sanders.
All right. I like that.
For this next pick here, though, for Seattle at 20, I do want to say I think Anthony Richardson, since I still have him on the board, he's either going to the Bucks at 19, the Seahawks at 20, the Ravens at 23. I could see him going to any of those places. If he's still on the board in this range, he's going to be gone before the Vikings pick, would be my prediction. So Seattle, reason why, obviously why I say that, Seattle at 20 here, I got them taking Anthony Richardson. Sure, the rumors are they're signing Geno Smith, but maybe they can get him for, maybe it's only a 2 or 3 year deal, and they draft Anthony Richardson to come in after Geno. Because obviously Richardson's raw. He's a guy that needs to sit behind a quarterback for a year or two anyways. So, and Geno's obviously not your long-term answer. So I got them going Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I have them going classic here, going more defense, maybe a little reach based on positional need, but I have them going safety here. Brian Branch, safety from Bama, had 90 total tackles last season, 3 sacks. Definitely has blitzing potential, something Pete Carroll loves to do with the safeties. 4 interceptions. He's 6', 190, fast, but still definitely a walloper. So even could play in the box here. From Brian Branch, something that, again, Carroll likes moving safeties around when he can. So I like that here for Seattle.
I'd like that pick too. I like Brian Branch a lot, obviously, being biased Bama fan. Our last pick, though, Spinny, now pick 21, belongs to the Chargers. I have them going Jordan Addison, wide receiver. I could not decide between him, Johnston, and Jackson Smith. I think that's a straight toss-up coming down to draft day on what teams end up preferring between those three. But as we saw, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, once again, cannot stay healthy. We saw that all season. They really don't have any depth really behind him. So I think they're just going to try to get a weapon here. I could also see them going tight end and picking I'm drawing a blank on the guy I think they would take out of Georgia, but there's also
well, I was thinking the Oregon State guy.
There's also a Dalton Kincaid out of Utah. There's a number of tight ends they could
Luke
take.
Musgrove from Oregon State, 6'6", 250. That's the guy I was thinking of too.
So there's I think they're going wide receiver or tight end here and giving Herbert another weapon.
Yes. Well, I agree with you. And the guy I have available, if he's still here, they will be very, very excited about, and that is Michael Mayer, tight end Notre Dame. That's who I have going here to the Chargers. Obviously, we see huge vertical threat tight end upside. He had 9 touchdowns last season, first among tight ends. This is a This is one of those top 5 tight end potential guys. Like, he might not
Like I
get
said,
there. You never know.
he could be the next Kittle. Like I said, he really could
Yes,
be.
he definitely has that upside, and the blocking part is there as well. Something
Right.
that'll be important with the Chargers. So I love this pick for them.
Yeah, I like that pick as well. Hopefully he falls there. 'Cause like I said, I don't want to see Michael Mayer in the NFC North. I really don't. So I think he's going to be a monster. Well, Spinny, you have any closing thoughts here? Otherwise, we'll get our viewers on the way. No trivia this week or nothing like that. We just wanted to give you a couple new segments. And yeah, so we hope y'all like episode 45, the Pedro Martinez episode.
Pedro Martinez, shout out to that man.
I guess one last shout out I want to say is appreciate all y'all that supported our clothing and purchased some sort of clothing, whether it was just shirt or a t-shirt, whatever you got. We appreciate everyone that supported us. We're looking to do some sort of clothing merch release again in the future. But shout out to everyone that supported us on the first one.
Agreed. Those will be shipped out within. They should be out to you in about 2 weeks' time. We will keep you updated on social media with that. When having a first post about what to look for and all that stuff coming up here soon. So
for sure. Well, Hearts Hardos,
we love you.
Appreciate y'all. We love you. Catch y'all next week.